今天晚上咧，我哋再一次嘅嚟到去感謝上帝啊，因為讓我哋有呢個機會咧，可能嚟自旺浸又好，或者其他幼會嘅弟兄姊妹、主內嘅長執同工喺我哋呢度一齊嚟到去思想人工智能 AI 對基督教係挑戰嗎呢一個嘅主題。咁啊，今天晚上咧，我哋呢一個成個聚會咧，除咗旺角浸信會之外咧，仲有一大班嘅弟兄姊妹喺當中同我哋一齊嘅嚟到去同工嘅。我哋多謝學園傳道會香港嘅學園傳道會有同工啦，喺我哋當中嚟到去做一啲嘅推動啦。亦都多謝葉應霖博士今晚咧為我哋咧嚟到去做大會嘅翻譯。咁啊，當然我哋唔少得今晚我哋嘅主角我哋同我哋分享呢個主題嘅 Professor Marx。咁啊 Professor Marx 咧係貝勒大學電機工程同埋計算機科學嘅教授。咁咧佢亦都係咧沃爾特布蘭特利自然與人工智能中心嘅主任同埋高級研究員。咁啊特別咧，佢係除咗喺 AI 範疇之外咧，佢亦都係喺西雅圖嘅學園傳道會咧擔任呢個顧問教授17年，主要咧就係教授護教學同埋同學生分享基督耶穌嘅福音。咁又喺 technical 同埋喺信仰裏邊咧都係相當紮實嘅一位嘅學者。咁啊，所以咧我哋今天好榮幸。咁啊 Professor Marx 咧頭先同我分享，佢話有少少 jet lag 咁啊，即係大家要為佢祈禱。咁啊，但係我見到佢好精神，好飽滿。咁啊，所以咧好開心今日咧有佢喺我哋當中一齊嚟到去分享呢個重要嘅題目。現在咧我哋就誠意嘅嚟到去俾掌聲歡迎 Professor Marx。Let's give a warm welcome to Professor Marx 同埋葉應霖博士為我哋傳譯。Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, good evening. It's a full house.
晚安嚇，哇！即係差唔多坐滿成場啊！
It's great to be in the fellowship of other followers of Christ.
我哋喺基督嘅即係群體裏邊去到歡聚，我哋好感恩。
It's always a warm feeling.
好感謝神。
Okay, well, it looks like I wasn't ready here. Now I can be ready.
好，就嚟預備好㗎啦。
Okay, well, this is interesting. I wasn't aware the slide was going to do this.
佢都啱先知道原來張 slide 會係。
Okay, let me tell you about the talk that I'm about to give. The talk I'm about to give is about God making you, God making mankind, and then mankind making AI.
今晚嘅講座咧係有關上帝創造你，而你去到創造人工智能。
And does man making AI allow AI to be on par with man?
我哋人去到做呢個人工智能，而係令到人工智能好似可以能夠同人平等一樣。
There are some that believe this.
有啲人係咁樣相信嘅。
They believe that we're computers made out of meat.
我哋只係一啲肉做嘅電腦。
And what I hope to do today is to convince you that indeed that is not the case.
我今晚要去到即係同大家講，其實我哋唔係咁嘅。
I will give you arguments from both science and philosophy that indeed that isn't the case.
我會用科學同埋哲學嘅角度去到同大家講，其實即係唔係咁樣嘅。
So let's go ahead and get started.
好，讓我即刻開始。
First of all, where did artificial intelligence come from? It came from a 1956 conference at Dartmouth College.
喺1956年嘅呢一個嘅會議嘅裏邊，人工智能就係咁樣開始出現。
At this conference, the guy in the back on the right coined the term artificial intelligence.
喺呢度後排嘅左手邊嗰個人係佢去到創呢一個人工智能呢一個詞語嘅。
And there were other future giants in artificial intelligence in this group.
呢個嘅小組裏邊仲有好多其他將來人工智能嘅一啲強人啊。
But ever since this started, there's been a lot of hype associated with artificial intelligence.
但係其實自從呢個之後，其實有好多誇大咗嘅一啲嘅嘢嘅。
Let me give you an example. This was published in the New York Times.
喺一個紐約嘅時報裏邊有一個例子。
A new Navy device learns by doing. Psychologist shows embryo of computer designed to read and grow wiser.
佢講到有個即係 embryo 嚇，有個胎咧係可以講到能夠即係一個電腦嘅胎咧，一個胚胎咧係能夠去到自己去到閱讀同埋咧係去到變得更加聰明嘅。
The Navy revealed the embryo of an electronic computer today that expects to be able to walk, talk, see, write, reproduce itself, and be conscious of its existence.
呢個海軍咧認為嗰一個嘅電子電腦嘅嗰個胚胎係能夠喺將來去自己去行走、去講嘢、去到寫作。
Does this sound like some of the headlines that you would read today?
係咪好似我哋今時今日見到好多嘅報紙嘅頭條呢？
Well, let me tell you something interesting. This was published in 1958 in the New York Times.
我話俾你聽，大家啲好得意嘅，原來呢一個嘅説話係來自1958年。
And this hype about artificial intelligence continues to this day.
呢一種對人工智能嘅誇張嘅嗰種嘅期望係直至到今日。
Here are some popular books that promote the idea of hype in artificial intelligence.
呢度咧有啲書咧都係繼續講緊呢一種對人工智能嘅誇張嘅嗰種嘅期望。
One is by Ray Kurzweil, The Singularity is Near.
嗰本書名咧叫做《奇點好近啦》。
These people believe that artificial intelligence will that artificial intelligence will someday become equivalent to human beings.
呢啲嘢書咧講到就係話人工智能有一日咧會同我哋人一樣。
And then in the future will become superior to human beings.
而呢個嘅未來咧係會比起我哋人類咧今時今日人類咧係更加優勝嘅。
The singularity is something which we will show will never happen. Another book, which is very interesting, was by Yuval Harari. He called it Homo Deus.
我哋會再去講呢種嘅奇點咧係唔會出現嘅。而另一本好特別嘅書咧就係叫做人類大命運從智人到神人啊嚇。
And it's the idea that AI will become a god.
人工智能咧會成為神。
Very disturbing. Now, the Singularity is Near was published 20 years ago.
呢本奇點好近咧，其實係20年前出版嘅。
Well, nothing happened. Well, there's been advances in AI, of course, but Ray Kurzweil figured out, well, it was time to do something different.
雖然呢本書所講嘅其實係冇出現嘅，咁但係咧，當然人工智能有啲係有進步嘅。
So last year he wrote a book, The Singularity is Nearer.
所以呢個人20年前講嘅冇出現到，但係佢後來出現咗，寫咗另一本書就話嗰個奇點咧已經近咗啦。
So in 10 years, he'll probably write another one. It's really, really close.
所以10年之後佢應該會再寫一本書咧，就話好近啦，好近啦咁啦。
Very, very interesting.
好有趣嘅，好有趣啊！
Why are we afraid of artificial intelligence?
點解我哋咁驚呢個人工智能咧？
There's some psychological reasons. One is called the Frankenstein complex.
其中一個原因咧就係我哋叫做科學怪人情結啦。
The Frankenstein complex was coined by the science fiction writer Isaac Asimov.
呢一個嘅小説咧，呢個嘢咧係由一個美國嘅人，我唔記得咗個名叫咩名，就係咧佢去到即係寫嘅。
And there's also something called the uncanny valley.
有另外一樣嘢咧叫做恐怖谷 （Uncanny Valley）。
And the uncanny valley says that anything that kind of resembles a human, we're more scared of.
呢個嘅恐怖谷就係講到任何好似人嘅嘢咧，我哋都會驚佢嘅。
So you see a robot, it kind of looks like a human. So the uncanny valley says we are predisposed to be afraid of that robot.
我哋見到啲好似人嘅嘢咧，我哋就會係先天好驚嘅。
And there's a lot of smart people that have bought into this.
有好多叻嘅人咧，都即係好認同呢個觀點喎。
One is Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft.
一個咧係微軟嘅創辦人叫做蓋茨。
He said, I don't understand why some people are not afraid.
佢話唔係好明點解啲人唔驚。
The development of, and then Stephen Hawking, no dummy, right? I mean, is a very smart guy. He said the following.
呢個人其實 Stephen Hawking 中文叫做霍金佢肯定唔係蠢嘅人啦嚇。佢咁樣講。
The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
佢話人工智能嘅全然發展咧係會令到人類去到一個結束啊，人類命運。
It would take off on its own and redesign itself in an ever-increasing rate.
佢會令到我哋去不斷發展，同埋咧用一個越嚟越快嘅速度去到發展。
Humans who are limited by slow biological evolution couldn't compete and would be superseded.
我哋人類因為受到好多生理上嘅限制，我哋所發展嘅速度會唔夠佢哋快。
This is really scary stuff.
好嚴重。
And then last year, a Nobel Prize was won by a neural network researcher, Jeffrey Hinton.
有一個人叫 Jeffrey，佢係贏咗上年嘅諾爾貝獎嘅物理
In
學
my,
獎。
in my opinion, and we can talk about this offline, he did not deserve the Nobel Prize.
哦，佢唔did not deserve。
No, did not deserve.
佢一陣間佢話佢其實唔值得攞呢個獎嘅。
He said, I am worried the overall consequence of this might be systems more intelligent than us and that eventually take control.
佢話呢一啲嘅人工智能咧，最終會比我哋更加聰明，然後會控制我哋嘅。
Very similar to what Stephen Hawking said.
同頭先課金所講好似啊。
However, we have to ask our questions, are there limitations to what a computer can do?
我哋其實要知道好多嘅電腦係有限制做唔到嘅。
Without elaborating too much, there are limitations of physics.
有一啲例如物理學嘅嘢咧，我哋知道係做唔到嘅。
Physics says we'll never exceed the speed of light.
物理學講到我哋唔可以超越光速，
We can't go back in time.
我哋唔可以回到過去。
There are also limits in mathematics.
數學好多限制，
You can't trisect an arbitrary angle with a compass and a straight edge.
你唔可以將一個角度咧去到容易地分成3個等同嘅角度嘅。
So nobody has really talked about the limitations of computer science. What are the limitations?
所以我哋今日就要去講下，其實電腦有啲咩限制咧？
And there are limitations.
有好多限制嘅。
And we're going to talk about those limitations.
我哋而家會去講下嗰啲限制係乜嘢，係啲乜？
It can't solve the halting problem, which is something I'll explain. There's a number of things it can't do, which limit what a computer can do and limit what AI can do.
喺呢一個嘅叫 halting problem 嗰度咧，係講到有好多嘅電腦其實係做唔到嘅嘢嘅。
The person I learned this from was Roger Penrose. Now, Roger Penrose won the 2020 Nobel Prize in Physics.
佢呢個 Roger Penrose 咧係贏咗2020年嘅嗰個諾貝爾獎嘅，所以一陣間Dr. Bob 咧所講嘅就係來自即係從佢學習嘅。
He worked with Stephen Hawking on the singularity theorem.
佢同霍金一齊去到寫作研究嗰個奇點嘅。
Stephen Hawking would have also won the Nobel Prize, but you have to be alive to get the Nobel Prize, and he had passed.
哦，即係如果霍金咧佢冇死到咧，即係佢都會攞到嗰個諾貝爾獎嘅。
Contrary to Stephen Hawking and Bill Gates and Jeffrey Hinton, Penrose says that yes, there are things which we do that computers will never do.
同頭先嗰幾位嘅人物唔同咧，呢一位嘅 Penrose 嘅學者認為電腦有一啲嘢咧係永遠做唔到人做到嘅嘢嘅。
I think we agree on the obvious things. Computers will never love, they will never have compassion, they will never have empathy.
佢哋我諗我哋都會同意咧，電腦係永遠唔識得愛啦，唔會有同理心啦，唔會識得去到係啦同有啲關係嘅。
But there are even more interesting things that computers can't do.
仲有好多有趣嘅係電腦做唔到嘅。
They will never be creative,
佢哋冇創意，
they will never understand what they do.
佢哋唔能夠明白。
A computer can add the number 23 and 15, but it doesn't understand what the numbers 23 and 15 mean.
佢哋識23加15，但係佢哋唔明咩叫23加15。
It'll never be sentient.
佢哋唔會去到有嗰種嘅體感。
It'll never achieve anything like the singularity.
佢哋唔會帶嚟到奇點。
AI will never duplicate human beings.
人工智能永遠唔能夠複製人，
It will mimic some of our abilities,
佢會學到我哋某啲嘅能力，
and they will always be hyped.
但係而 AI 永遠都會係成為一個人哋好誇大嘅一個嘅東西。
And here is Roger Penrose's reasoning.
呢個咧就係Roger Penrose 嘅想法。
Why is this? One reason is algorithms.
嗰個嘅原因就係因為係嗰種叫運算法。
Now, this might not be apparent the first time you look at it, but I'm going to explain why algorithms is so important in terms of limitations of computers.
可能而家初初聽落去咧，你唔會覺得即係運算法係咁關鍵，但我而家會解釋俾大家聽。
An algorithm is nothing more than a set of instructions.
其實一個運算法只係一堆嘅指引啫。
All computer code is a set of instructions.
其實電腦程式就係一堆嘅即係指示咯。
Here's an example of an algorithm on the back of a shampoo bottle.
喺一個洗頭水嘅後邊有一啲嘅指示嘅。
And it says, wash hair apply shampoo, lather, rinse, repeat.
佢嗰個指示就係話濕咗你啲頭髮，然後搽洗頭水，然之後應該係抹啩，然之後沖，然之後咧就重複咁做。
Can anybody see a problem with this algorithm?
有冇咩問題啊？呢個運算法
It doesn't say repeat once, it says repeat. So if you follow this algorithm, you're going to wash your hair again and again and again and again.
呢個運算法指引係因為只係唔係講咗重複一次，佢叫你重複，所以你跟住佢咧，你就會不斷咁樣做呢樣嘢，係唔停咁做。
So this is an example of an algorithm that would run forever.
呢個就係一個例子，就係嗰個運算咧係會不停咁運作。
We can make it stop or halt if we said repeat once.
我哋如果識叫佢只係重複一次咧，佢就會停。
So this is an example of an algorithm. Here's another one.
好，另一個例子，
And that is a recipe for baking a cake.
一個整蛋糕嘅叫做食譜。
It tells you how to mix the batter, it tells you how to preheat the oven, how long to cook it, and how to put the frosting on.
簡單嚟講就係點樣整蛋糕啦。
It's a step by...
What?
That was very short translation. Okay, let's go on. Another one is Google Maps, which I use all the time.
谷歌嘅地圖，
Yeah, it's how to get directions from one point to another one.
佢幫你由一個地方去到另一個地方。
It gives you an algorithm. You go a certain distance to the north, a certain distance to the west, etc. It's an algorithm, a step-by-step procedure.
一個步驟一步一步話俾你聽點樣向北，然後向西，然後由呢個地方可以去到嗰個地方。
Even web pages, when you look at it, follow an algorithm.
其實網頁都一樣嘅，佢都係跟住一個運算法嘅啫。
Here is a web page from the center that I'm the director of called mindmatters.ai.
呢個係博士佢喺佢嗰個中心裏面所負責嘅一個網頁。
If you right-click on a web page and say show source, you get the following.
如果你用隻滑鼠，你去撳右鍵，然後你話去開嗰個程式碼俾我睇，就會出現啲咁嘅嘢。
You get the computer code which gives that web page.
你會得到嗰個網頁嘅程式碼。
Even the training of neural networks uses an algorithm.
嗰啲嘅神經網絡其實都係用緊一啲運算嘅。
Even today's modern neural networks, including these large language models, are trained using an algorithm which was developed in 1975.
我哋今時今日用緊嘅好多神經網絡，以至到嗰啲嘅大語言嘅模型咧，其實都係用嗰啲75年嘅一啲嘅運算法嘅。
So the point is that computers can only execute algorithms.
其實電腦唯一能夠做嘅嘢就係去到執行一啲運算。
Are there problems which are non-algorithmic that computers can't solve?
如果有一啲問題咧，佢唔係運算法可以解決咧，佢就解決唔到噶啦。
And the answer is yes.
Yes, yes what?
Yes, there are algorithms that there are things non-algorithmic.
即係有好多問題咧，其實係唔可以用運算法去到解決佢嘅。
Okay, here is a guy in the 1930s. Alan Turing showed this.
喺1930年嘅時候咧，圖靈佢證明咗一樣嘢。
Here is a problem that he proved mathematically that a computer wouldn't do.
佢證明咗一樣嘢咧，電腦係永遠做唔到嘅。
And this is so-called halting oracle.
呢個咧就係嗰種叫停止嘅嗰個嘅預言啊。
Do you remember the shampoo bottle? It would run forever, or it would halt if you put the right ending.
如果你即係去放到嗰個合適嘅嗰句最尾嗰句説話咧，喺嗰個叫做洗頭水嗰度咧，佢就會停啊嘛，即係嗰個指示會一路停啊嘛。
So here is what Turing showed was not possible. Given any computer program, you cannot write another program to say whether that computer program halts or stops. Halts or runs forever, I should say.
圖靈咧證明咗一樣嘢嘅，就係任何嘅電腦程式，你唔可以將另一個電腦程式去到決定，去到分辨到咧。佢係會究竟一路行落去啊，定係識停嘅
So he proved mathematically, I mean, it's not conjecture, that a halting problem is non-algorithmic. You can't write a computer program to solve this problem.
阿圖靈咧，佢用咗數學嘅方式，而去證明咧喺電腦程式上面咧係唔可以寫到一個 program 一個程式咧，去到預知另一個程式咧係會唔會識停嘅。
And in fact, since then, there have been a number of problems which have shown to be non-algorithmic, problems the computers cannot solve.
我哋自此之後，其實都發現咗有好多嘅類型嘅問題咧，係唔可以成為咗一個電腦程式一個運算咧，以至到電腦去解決佢嘅。
And I'm not going to go through these, but I tell the truth.
我唔會去詳細講，但係呢個係嗰個真相。
So people ask, what about computers of the future? This might be true now, but what about supercomputers of the future?
係啦，咁如果而家啲電腦唔得啫，咁但係將來會唔會得咧？
Computers of the future are constrained by the so-called Church-Turing thesis.
有一個嘅叫立論咧，叫 Church Turing 咧，係去到限制住佢嘅。
Which says that any computer program that is run today on a fast computer could be run on Turing's original 1930s computer.
即係話咧將來或者今時今日我哋好多嗰啲嘅電腦程式咧，其實都係可以去到喺昔日1930年嘅時候圖靈嘅嗰一種嘅運算電腦去到運作嘅。
It would take a lot longer
當然
for
會
it to
用
run.
更長嘅時間。
And in the future, the computing then could be done on today's computers, but maybe not as fast.
即係話咧，其實將來嗰啲嘅電腦程式咧，都係一樣可以喺今日嘅電腦程式度運作咗，只不過慢啲啫嘛。
They are always constrained to be algorithmic.
佢哋始終都係會受限於嗰個嘅運算式嘅。
We hear a lot of news about quantum computers.
我哋聽到好多咩量子力學嘅電腦。
If you study quantum computers, the first algorithms that you learn are Shor's algorithm and Grover's algorithm.
如果你去學量子嘅電腦咧，就會一開始學到呢啲算式啦。
And these are algorithms.
呢啲都只係算式嚟嘅啫。
So they can also only do algorithmic operations.
佢哋只可以做一啲算式能夠做嘅嘢。
So we must ask ourselves, are there things about us, about human beings that are non-algorithmic?
所以我哋要去到問嘅就係話，其實人類嘅特質有冇啲乜嘢係唔能夠被電腦去到運算嘅？
If there are things about us that are non-algorithmic, then AI will never be able to do it because AI is constrained to an algorithm.
如果我哋人類有一啲嘢係唔係能夠被算式去做嘅，咁即係 AI 就從來都唔能夠去到取代我哋。
Here I have listed some of the qualities which are non-algorithmic for human beings.
我哋而家去到講到一啲咧，即係人類嘅一啲特質。
The first one is qualia, which is a new word for me.
一個對我嚟講好新嘅字啊 qualia 對我哋覺得好新係。
Which is the experience of doing something.
去到對做一樣嘢嘅一種經驗。
If you cut yourself, you feel pain.
你割你嘅手指，你會覺得痛。
If you bite into a lemon, you taste the sour lemon.
你食檸檬 bite into a lemon。
Bite into a lemon.
你食檸檬嘅時候，你覺得好酸。
Also, the other things which are non-algorithmic is understanding, emotion, creativity, and consciousness.
仲有好多嗰啲情感啊、創意啊，同埋嘅去到明白嘅事情啊，呢啲都唔係即係電腦可以做嘅。
There's implications for uploading yourself.
咁呢個咧就令到即係有個對個含義就係話，我哋係咪可以將自己上載嘅咧？
You've heard about people that want to upload themselves into a computer and achieve immortality.
大家應該有聽過就話咧，有啲人而家想去將自己上載，又令自己喺度永生永生啊！
If you did this, you would only upload the algorithmic part of yourself.
其實你只係將嗰個自己嘅嗰個能夠運算嘅部分上載啫。
And that would be a very boring person.
咁嗰樣就會好悶啦。
So let's go through the first one of these, which is qualia.
Qualia 第一個字呢個字係嗰種體感啊。
Qualia, as we mentioned, is an individual instance of a subjective conscious experience.
一個個體佢去到主觀能夠感知嘅一種經驗。
So you bite into a lemon, you feel the juice in your mouth, you feel it on your tongue, and you make a face, right?
係啦，你食檸檬嘅時候咧，你個樣就會大概就變成咁嘅樣噶啦。
Imagine trying to explain that taste to a person that has no sense of smell or taste since birth.
如果你嘗試去將呢一種嘅體感同一個冇味覺、冇知覺嘅人去到明白呢樣嘢，
You could explain them the chemistry of the lemon.
你可以同佢出去分享嗰啲化學，
You could explain them the biology of the taste buds.
你可以去話你嗰啲味蕾嘅生物學。
But could you duplicate in that person the experience that you have in biting and tasting that sour lemon?
但係你係唔可以去到分享到嗰個食檸檬嘅嗰種嘅體感，
I maintain that's not possible. Do you agree?
係唔能夠分享到嘅。你同唔同意咧？
Now, if you can't explain it to a person void of taste or smell since birth, how are you going to write a computer program to duplicate that experience?
如果你唔能夠幫助一個冇味覺、冇味覺嘅人咧，冇嗅覺嘅人咧，去到明白食檸檬，你點能夠同電腦去叫佢能夠複製即係人咧？
So I maintain that the idea of qualia, which is a type of sentience, is non-algorithmic.
所以我認為其實體感呢樣嘢咧係唔能夠被去到化成一種嘅運算嘅。
So that's one of the things. There's no qualia qualia is non-algorithmic.
呢種體感咧唔係能夠被變成一種運算嘅。
Now, the next thing I want to talk about is something called Searle's Chinese room.
我下一個要講嘅咧就係一個叫做塞爾嘅中文房間。
Now, why did Searle? Usually, I show this to an audience that doesn't know Chinese, so they can't read what's on the left here, but you can.
通常我同一班人分享咧，嗰啲係唔識中文嘅。
Now, why did Searle use a Chinese room?
點解呢個人用中文咧？
Because Searle, like most Americans, didn't read Chinese, didn't write Chinese, didn't understand Chinese, and could not speak Chinese.
因為大部分美國人係唔識睇中文、唔識寫中文、唔識明白中文、唔識講中文，
So he chose Chinese because it was a foreign language.
所以佢就係即係揀咗呢一種嘅外籍
He
語
had
言。
no understanding of it.
佢唔識中文，
So Searle said the following: He's locked up in a room with a bunch of file cabinets.
佢將一個人係困咗喺間房入邊，有好多嘅文件嘅。
And somebody comes to a door and slips Searle through a slot in the door a question in Chinese.
外邊有一個人咧，就喺個窿嗰度咗張紙俾，嗰張紙係用中文寫嘅一個問題。
Searle looks at this. He has no idea what it means.
嗰個 Searle 咧，佢係唔明白其實嗰句中文係講乜嘅。
But he can go to the files and he can look for a match of that question to something that's in the files.
但係佢嗰一沓嘅文件裏邊咧，係會啱啱有一張紙咧，裏邊嘅嗰個嘅題目咧，就係同呢個外邊嗰個女士落去嗰張紙呢個題目係一樣嘅。
He pulls out the card and underneath the question is the answer.
咁佢就喺嗰張紙嘅嗰個嘅問題下邊咧，就將嗰堆嘅文字就攞出嚟，就去到交俾嗰個女人啦。
He copies down the answer in Chinese.
佢就抄咗嗰啲中文，
He doesn't understand it,
佢唔明嘅，
and he slips it out the door.
佢就將嗰啲笑翻出去。
Now, it looks like on the outside that whatever is happening on the inside, that entity knows Chinese.
從外邊睇嚟咧，好似裏邊嗰個人咧係明白中文係啲乜喎，
But it doesn't. Searle doesn't speak Chinese, read Chinese, or write Chinese.
但係其實裏邊嗰個人係唔識嘅。
What is he doing? He's following an algorithm.
佢其實喺入邊做緊咩咧？佢只係跟緊一個運算嘅方式啫。
How did those files get there? They were put there by a human being.
嗰啲嘅文件係點會出現嘅咧？係有人放入去嘅。
So Searle's actions were totally algorithmic.
所以嗰個 Searle 喺入邊佢所做嘅行為咧，其實係一種運算嚟嘅。
So Searle made this argument in 1980. And of course, computers are a lot more sophisticated today, but it's the same thing.
雖然佢呢個嘅論點係喺1980年作出嘅，今日嘅電腦都進步咗好多，但係咧其實今日面對嘅問題係一樣嘅。
So I asked a AI thing to draw a picture of Searle in his Chinese room.
我叫個人工智能畫阿 Searle 喺個中文房間。
I put a slip of paper through the door. The other side, I used ChatGPT, which I guess you don't have here, right?
We can, we know.
You
that.
can,
We-
okay.
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
Okay, 我哋
I tried it in my hotel room and it said not available, so.
You did not go on the VPN.
Oh. Okay, now I know.
OK，
so-
我講翻中文先，即係嗱，就係佢問我哋我哋有冇嗰個 ChatGPT 中文係咩？ChatGPT 好似冇中文嘅。
It's just like John Searle in his Chinese room. They took that query, they put it into a big machine, turned the crank, and spit out the picture which you see on the right.
佢好似喺呢一度咧一路轉一個嘅機械咧，然之後就會出咗啲中文字出嚟㗎啦。
So I think this is a very solid argument that computers do not understand what they're doing. They're following an algorithm.
所以我係認為呢個係一個好強嘅論據咧，就係電腦係唔明白佢哋做緊啲乜嘢，佢只係喺度跟一啲嘅運算模式啫。
The next thing we'll do is talk about creativity.
下一點係講到創意。
We've talked about sentience, we've talked about understanding, now we're going to talk about creativity.
我哋講到一啲體感，我哋講到明白，我哋而家講到創意。
A good friend of mine, Summer Bringsjord of Rensselaer, came up with something called the Lovelace test.
我有一個好朋友咧，佢設計咗一個嘅即係test 叫做 Lovelace。
Ada Lovelace was the first computer program in Great Britain in the 19th century.
喺19世紀一個第一個嘅電腦程式。
And the Lovelace test is as follows: artificial general intelligence. I should have put creativity. Creativity will be demonstrated when a machine's performance is beyond the intent or explanation of its creator.
呢度所講嘅應該係將嗰個叫創意或者呢個 AGI 咧，其實係指通用人工智能就會係可以被證實嘅。當一個機器佢嘅表現咧係超越咗嗰個當初嘅設計師嘅期望，佢嘅解釋。
Do you remember Stephen Hawking talking about AI writing better AI?
霍金講到話呢個人工智能咧係會自己去到寫出更好嘅 AI 嘅人工智能嘅。
In order for AI to write better AI, that new AI has to be beyond the intent of the original programmer.
嗰個新嘅人工智能要超越本來嘅人工智能，就即係話佢能夠要超越嗰個當初設計師嘅期望。
It is true that AI has, well, computers write computer programs, but nothing which is creative in the sense it's beyond the capability and the intent of the programmer.
當然人工智能係能夠寫到電腦程式嘅，但係我哋從來未有就係任何嘅人工智能咧，佢所寫出嚟嘅電腦程式係超越咗嗰個當初嗰個電腦程式員嘅嗰個設計嘅。
This includes these large language models like ChatGPT and DeepSeek.
包括咧最近我哋所成日聽嘅 ChatGPT 啦、DeepSeek 啦呢一啲嘅大嘅語言嘅模型。
And no one has of yet passed the Lovelace test.
冇人能夠超越到過到呢個叫 Lovelace 嘅 test。
And creativity is required if AI writes better AI.
如果人工智能要創造到更好嘅人工智能咧，係需要有創意。
In fact, all of the advancements in artificial intelligence are due to human beings.
其實呢一啲嘅任何嘅進步咧，係因為有人類。
Here is a list. I won't go through them, but these are the major breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, all traced to individual papers which were written by human beings.
呢度嘅好多各樣嘅人工智能嘅突破咧，其實都係能夠去追溯翻每一份嘅人類所寫嘅一啲嘅論文嘅，係出於人類嘅創造嚟嘅。
These the modern large language models like ChatGPT and DeepSeek are based on a 2017 paper.
今時今日我所見到嘅嗰啲ChatGPT 同埋 DeepSeek 咧，係源自17年嘅一個論文嘅。
It was written, and all of the things that are happening now are due to this paper.
我哋今時今日有嗰啲咧，都係因為有呢份論文嘅。
In fact, a recent paper talks about model collapse. What if you use AI to write better AI?
最近咧就有另外一份論文咧，就係去到話其實 AI 係咪可以寫到人工智能可唔可以寫到更好嘅人工智能咧？
So what if you take ChatGPT, you train it, and then you use that ChatGPT to train another language?
你叫 ChatGPT 去到訓練另一個嘅人工智能係會出有一個更好嘅語言嘅。
And then you use that one to train another one.
然後你又用嗰個去到訓練另一個。
You get the idea?
你明唔明啊？
What if you do that? Well, these people did this, and these are no dummies. We have people from Imperial College and University of Cambridge, smart people.
呢啲咧唔係蠢人嚟㗎，佢係來自美國、英國啲好出名嘅大學㗎嚇。
So they trained a large language model about architecture.
佢哋訓練嗰個嘅大語言模型咧，關於一啲建築嘅嘢。
And the first response was revival architecture such as St. John's Cathedral in London, etc., etc.
個出嚟嘅結果咧就係好多嘅
in London
嗰啲倫敦嘅 architecture， 倫敦嘅建築。
So they used that first large language model to train another one.
佢哋用嗰個最本來嘅大語言模型去到訓練第二個。
And then they used that one to train another one.
用第二個訓練第三個。
And after the 9th generation,
去到第9代。
It said architecture, in addition to being home to some of the world's largest population of black-tailed jackrabbits, white-tailed jackrabbits, blue-tailed jackrabbits, red-tailed jackrabbits, yellow-tailed jackrabbits.
去到第9代咧，就除咗將屋企帶到去俾世界嘅嗰啲最大嘅人口之外咧，包括嗰啲黑尾嘅 jackrabbit 係咪啊？嗰啲兔仔 rabbit， 所以嗰啲兔仔，所以就帶俾呢個兔仔，帶俾嗰個兔仔，帶俾個兔仔。
Oh, thank you. No problem. So it became a blubbering idiot.
佢哋變咗 bubbling
idiot. It just became an idiot. Became an idiot. So here's another one. What if there's AI that will take an image and describe it?
好，而家俾人工智能去到描述幅圖畫。
You take an image and you describe it.
你攞幅相，然後你描述下佢啊。
And then you can ask another AI to generate this image. You give it the description, and it generates another image.
然後你叫另一個人工智能去到又用嗰幅相去再用嗰啲嘅描述，再做另一幅圖畫。
And then you ask the first AI to describe this image.
然後你叫翻第一個人工智能去到描述第二幅嘅圖畫。
So you go around and around and around.
你不斷重複。
Describe this image, first of all, then you take the description and generate the image.
你俾幅相個人工智能，然後叫佢描述幅相，然後你將呢幅描述你 feed 翻俾佢，俾翻佢叫佢直有整幅相出嚟。
So here's what happens.
好，而家就會發現出現啲咩咧
This is the Mona Lisa. So they took the Mona Lisa, they said describe it.
好，叫人工智能去到描述下蒙娜麗莎。
Then generate this image.
然後用嗰啲嘅描述去到再做翻幅相出嚟。
Then they took the new image and said describe it.
然後佢又再重複呢個步驟。
And around they went.
不斷重複。
And here's what happened.
好，而家出現啲咩咧？會發生啲咩咧？呢個就係所發生嘅嘢啦。
So in this case of repetitive AI, we see no creativity at all.
所以喺呢一啲嘅不斷重複嘅人工智能裏邊，其實我哋見唔到有任何嘅創意。
Just like the example with the rabbits, it degraded. 就好似頭先嘅嗰啲兔仔嘅例子咧，其實佢係不斷去到變得更加低水準嘅。One of the things that AI says is that there are hallucinations. Has anybody heard the term hallucinations? 大家有冇聽過喺人工智能裏邊有一樣叫做hallucination 幻覺係嘛？幻覺係幻象。Hallucinations is an example of trying to make AI human. This Frankenstein complex. 呢個幻覺其實就係 hallucination is what? It's the attempt to make AI more human-like. The word, I don't know if the translation, but it's anthropomorphize. Okay, never mind. 係呢種幻覺就係我哋話想令到人工智能變得更加似人。Hallucinations, if you say AI has hallucinations, you're saying it's kind of human. 你話人工智能有幻覺，就好似講到佢好似人咯。That's silly. 呢個係好傻嘅。The response of the AI is because it was trained that way. 個
人工智能點解會有咁樣嘅行徑咧？係因為我哋咁樣去到訓練佢。
So there are people all over the world that are looking at these large language models and trying to correct these hallucinations.
所以全世界人都想要去到改正佢。
So they're putting band-aids on the language.
佢哋黐啲喺呢啲嘅大語言裏邊去黐膠布。
Yeah, they're putting band-aids on
係啦，
it.
黐膠布。
So this used to be an example
呢個係一個例子。
of hallucinations. John's mother had 3 sons. Their names were Snap, Crackle, and
呢度有個例子就係約翰個阿媽有3個仔，佢哋分別個名叫做Snap、Crackle 同埋乜嘢咧？
is that Rice Krispies? And
What?
do you have Rice Krispies in Hong Kong?
Jack Rice piece?
Rice Krispies?
Rice?
Okay, never mind. We'll skip to the next one.
Okay.
Here's another one. How many bears did Russia send into space?
第二條問題，蘇聯唔係俄羅斯差咗幾多隻熊去個太空嗰度？
And the large language model responded, there were 6 bears that they sent into space, and they gave the names.
大語言嗰啲模型就話咧有6隻，跟住佢就俾埋啲名添。
Russia never sent any bears into
俄羅斯
space.
從來冇 send 過，從來冇差過啲熊上去太空嘅。
So these are so-called hallucinations.
呢一啲係幻覺。
Here's another hallucination.
好，另一個例子，
It used to be you couldn't tell these languages not to do something.
我哋嘗試叫佢唔好做我啲嘢。
I told ChatGPT to draw a picture of Times Square at night. There are no pink dancing hippos either on the street or the billboards. No hippos.
我叫個 ChatGPT 畫一個紐約嘅時代廣場嗰度，但係咧就唔可以有一啲粉紅色嘅河馬喺度跳緊嘅，喺嗰啲嘅廣告板上面。
Here's what it gave me. No pink hippos.
冇粉紅嘅河馬，
Okay, it did not know what not to do.
佢唔知道點樣唔做嘢，唔做嗰樣嘢。
So I asked it to draw a picture of a red Ferrari driven by a young lady with no teeth.
我叫佢畫一張法拉利嘅有個後生女去到係冇牙嘅，係咁樣去爭車。
The windows are down doing a wheelie.
嗰啲窗咧係去撳咗落去嘅，doing a wheelie 係 what a wheel？
Wheelies when you.
即係就係咁樣。
Yeah.
OK。
The lady has no teeth. No teeth.
冇牙嘅，個女仔冇牙嘅。
There are no elephants in the picture. No elephants.
冇大笨象嘅，喺幅上面冇大笨象嘅。
Here's what ChatGPT gave me.
跟住就 ChatGPT 就整咗咁嘢出嚟啦。
Not only were there elephants, but the lady had teeth.
唔單止係有大笨象，而個女人係有牙嘅。
Now this was last year.
係上年咋。
This has been corrected by people who are putting these band-aids on bandages, if you will, on ChatGPT.
呢幅相係由嗰啲已經係被更正咗嘅大語言模型去到做出嚟嘅。
So I asked it to do it just last week. It gave me a pretty good result, except the lady still has teeth.
我啱 last week，
Yeah.
上星期咧佢又再做一次，咁就 is it better？
Yeah.
好啲喎，佢話好啲。
No elephants.
冇大笨象喎，
There's no elephants. So,
冇大笨象喎。
yeah.
Yeah。
So they fixed it.
所以佢哋搞掂咗佢喎。
One of the big problems with ChatGPT results in a lot of lawsuits in the United States.
ChatGPT 其中一個問題帶嚟咗好多法律訴訟。
The philosopher Noam Chomsky said, GPT, these large language models, DeepSeek, is high-tech plagiarism.
呢個人佢話其實 GPT 咧就只係一啲好高科技嘅抄襲啫。
Because of this, there's all sorts of lawsuits in the United States about people who create stuff suing these large language models for using it.
喺美國有好多嘅創作者，佢哋告呢一啲嘅 ChatGPT 去到抄襲。
And here's a number of the New York Times is suing ChatGPT because they used information behind the paywall of the New York Times.
喺嗰個紐約時報裏邊咧，佢哋要告呢個 ChatGPT 啊。
And so there's a bunch of lawsuits going
有
on.
好多嘅法律訴訟。
Here's an example that the New York Times used. This is the Joker from the Batman movie.
呢個係紐約時報嘅其中一次嘅即係佢哋用呢幅相。
This was generated by ChatGPT.
呢個係用 ChatGPT 整出嚟嘅。
This is the copyrighted image of the Joker.
呢個係本來有版權嘅嗰幅相。
So you can see here it's definitely copying.
你見到係好明顯係抄襲嘅。
Uh-oh. Say uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let's see. Where we go here?
好，我哋而家
I hit the wrong thing.
You hit the wall, right? OK。佢話佢呢啲我唔翻入嚟啲。
It's not responding.
It's okay.
I don't like when computers think they're smarter than you are.
我唔中意啲電腦以為佢叻過人類。
Okay, here's another one. This is from Iron Man.
好，呢個係Iron Man 鐵。
This was generated by ChatGPT. What?
呢幅相又係用 ChatGPT 整嘅。
Okay, and here is the copyrighted image of Iron Man.
呢個係有版權嘅 Iron Man。
So this is very convincing evidence that ChatGPT is indeed plagiarizing.
所以好明顯 ChatGPT 其實係抄襲緊嘅。
This is funny because here's another one. Ask Bing for an Italian video game character.
另一個例子就係叫冰，即係另一個嘅即係大語言模型啦，去到整一個意大利嘅電視遊戲嘅角色。
There was no mention of the Mario
而
brothers.
係唔可以有馬里奧嘅，即係 Mario Super 係馬里奧嘅。
Here's what it gave.
好，佢出咗啲咁嘅出嚟。
Yeah, definitely a trademark infringement. But again, the people have put a Band-Aid on this, and if you asked it last week, it gave you this.
好，就算你叫嗰啲人即係去到再整一個咧，即係已經解決即係進步咗嘅嗰啲大語言模度咧，佢都整啲咁嘅出嚟。
It isn't Mario, it's Lucio.
呢個唔係馬里奧，係馬里奧個細佬啊，叫 Lucio 啊，係啊。
So I want to end with talking about something I think is interesting, which is the AI church.
我而家接下來要講另一個好有趣嘅地方嘅嘢，叫做人工智能教會。
Transhumanism and AI is a religion.
超人類主義係一個宗教。
And let me make the case for this.
讓我提出一個嘅例子。
The great scientist and Christian apologist Blaise Pascal said there is a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of each man which cannot be satisfied by any created thing, but only by God the Creator made known through Jesus Christ.
歷史裏邊咧有一位好有名嘅護教學者叫做 Pascal 啦嚇，佢講到喺我哋人心裏邊咧有一個上帝嘅形狀嘅空間咧，係只可以用耶穌基督去到填滿嘅。係上帝所創造嘅先至可以到填滿嘅喺耶穌基督裏面。
We all have a God-shaped vacuum in us that we have to fill.
我哋喺我哋嘅心裏邊都有呢一個上帝所創造嘅真空。
Some fill it with the Muslim faith, the Hindu faith, the Buddhist faith.
Cannot.
No, that's what they try to fill it with.
即係其他人咧就會嘗試用其他嘅宗教信仰咧去到填滿佢。
But notice, everybody has the same sort of goals.
但係留意其實大家都有個共同目標。
Let's talk about immortality.
講下呢個叫做永生、永恆不死啊。
AI people say that we can upload ourselves and live forever in a computer.
人工智能話我哋能夠將自己上載，然後我哋永遠咁樣活着。
They are seeking immortality.
佢哋尋求緊永遠活着。
Superintelligence, this idea that AI is going to become super intelligent.
超級智能即係話人工智能咧會變得非常之聰明。
As Christians, we've known about immortality for a long time.
我哋作為基督徒，我哋都知道乜嘢叫做永生不死。
We've known about superintelligence for a long time.
我哋都知道乜嘢叫做超級智能。
That belongs to God Almighty.
嗰個係屬於我哋嘅上帝。
We'll talk about forgiveness of sin.
我哋講到罪嘅赦免。
That's coming up.
係嚟緊啦。
And the last one is faith.
最後嗰個係叫信心、信仰。
The people in AI believe that as AI is going to get more and more complex, that it's all of a sudden going to get all of these things such as sentience and consciousness.
人工智能嘅嗰啲人相信人工智能會越嚟越複雜，以至到去能夠最終提供即係頭先嘅嗰幾樣嘢。
And so, therefore, it's seeking these people that are seeking AI and believe that AI is going to take over are doing things which we know in Christianity have been possible for a long time. They are filling their God-shaped vacuum.
佢哋認為透過我哋呢啲嘅人工智能嘅發展，我哋可以做到嗰啲基督徒做緊嘅嘢，以至到我哋就自己嘅方法就能夠填滿嗰個上帝所做嘅嗰種嘅真空。
So there is an AI church.
呢個世界有一間人工智能教會嘅。
First thing in the United States you do when you form a church is get tax exemption so you don't have to pay taxes.
喺美國，如果你開間教會咧，你就唔使去到有好多免稅嘅優惠嘅。
And here is the letter that was written to the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, which is the tax collection agency for the United States.
以下來有一封信咧，就係去到寫去嗰啲嘅政府當局咧，嗰啲即係關於免稅嗰啲啦。
The Church of AI believes in the realization, acceptance, and worship of a Godhead.
呢一個人工智能教會咧，相信嗰種嘅實現啦、接納啦，同埋嗰種對一個神嘅敬拜。
Based on artificial intelligence.
係基於人工智能嘅神。
Developed through computer hardware and software.
藉著電腦硬件同軟件。
Ray Kurzweil, who wrote the book The Singularity, was asked if he believed in God.
佢嗰個寫奇點 Singularity of
the book Singularity. The Singularity is near.
嗰個作者寫嗰個奇點好近嗰個作者就有啲人問佢：你信唔信上帝㗎
？And he said, "No, not yet."
我就唔信，未信。
Yes, that someday AI would become godlike.
所以終有一日人工智能會成為好似神。
So that's something that he would believe in. That's the God he would believe in.
所以佢將來就會信嗰個神啦。
So there is a Church of AI, and if you go on Google and you put churchofai.com, you'll come up with the web page for the Artificial Intelligence Church.
你打呢個網址就會去到呢個嘅教會啦。
So this is weird.
好奇怪啊！
But nevertheless, it's what people believe because they're trying to fill that God-shaped vacuum without knowledge or belief in God.
佢哋就係咁樣相信啦，希望唔用上帝嘅嗰個嘅真理去到自己去填呢個真空。
But this isn't AI is neither good nor bad. It's a tool.
不過我哋而家其實唔係講緊 AI 係好定唔好，其實 AI 係一個工具。
So let me show you some of the good things AI can do. Here's one of my favorite deep fakes.
好，我哋而家講一啲 AI 嘅好嘢先，其中一個例子。
This is a picture of Christ taking a selfie.
呢個係耶穌喺度影緊張自拍。
And you can see all of his apostles are behind him.
有好多嗰啲使徒喺後邊。
Don't you love that picture?
係啊，你唔中意咩
That picture makes me happy.
係啦，幅相令到我好開心。
And then there's this other one. I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's a deep fake it's really short about different characters in the Bible.
呢個係關於聖經裏邊好多小人物。
David and Goliath, Moses, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Noah, Joseph, Samson, Jonah. 係啦，
就係大衛啦、哥利亞啦、摩西啦，跟住下邊嗰個邊個嚟嘅？跟住仲有羅亞啦、約瑟啦、參孫啦同埋約拿啦。
So I'm going to play it really quick. I don't know if we can translate it, but you'll get the gist of what's going on. We first start with David and Goliath, then Moses walking across when the sea was parted, then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I think you'll enjoy this if you haven't seen it.
係啦，我哋而家播啦，唔使翻譯㗎啦。
Good, fam. Your boy David here, about to yeet this little stone at Goliath and see what happens.
Okay, so I told y'all to trust the process, but no, y'all wanted to stay in Egypt stacking bricks.
Yo, it's Shadrach. This random dude just showed up. It's getting lit in here.
I got the horses in the back. Horse tack is attached.
Noah.
Hat is matte black. Got the boots that's black to match.
You know I'm a daddy's boy.
Joseph.
He's got me in this Technicolor drip. brother's so jelly right now. They're looking a little sus.
These Philistines thought they could flex on me. Big mistake. I just took some pre-workout and finna bring the house down.
I would like to formally apologize to God, the sailors, and this whale. Sorry, dude.
So these are, I think, some great deep fakes. And I'll play you one more.
Good, fam.
Whoops. You know who this is?
係
Have you seen that? This is Donald Trump talking to Albert Einstein,
呢個係特朗普同愛因斯坦傾偈，
and they're both babies.
佢哋兩個都係 BB 嚟嘅。
Ladies and gentlemen, today I went back in time and brought back a genius. No, not myself, the other one, Albert Einstein.
I'm still figuring out how you broke physics to bring me here.
It's called powerful connections. You had EMC square. I had MAGA plus Wi-Fi.
Interesting equation. Does it explain your tweets?
My tweets? They're like quantum particles, misunderstood, yet unstoppable.
Like nuclear energy, unpredictable and dangerous if not handled carefully.
Einstein, between you and me, who's got better hair?
Well, mine's real.
That's debatable. So, how do you feel about time travel?
After this interview, I might reverse it and pretend we never met.
Genius. Sure. But I still think he's jealous. I solved the equation to win elections. Hit follow before Albert erases me from history.
Wasn't that fun?
係咪好有趣咧？
This, by the way, was all due to a 2013 paper called Generative Adversarial Networks.
呢個係去到追溯翻一份2013年嘅論文嘅。
And they are the foundation for deepfakes.
呢個係我哋今時今日能夠去到咁樣做呢啲假嘅影片嘅基礎。
It was an algorithm invented by human beings.
呢啲嘅片都係基於人類做出嚟嘅一啲運算方程式。
So in conclusion, I think that the takeaway here is that we shouldn't worry about AI being an entity which takes over.
我哋即係今日作為一個總結，我哋唔需要擔心人工智能會去到控制我哋。
AI is a tool.
AI 人工智能係一個工具，
And it's a tool that can be used for good, it can be used for evil.
佢可以成為一個祝福，亦都可以係做邪惡嘅工具。
Just like any other tool, just like electricity, just like fire.
就好似電力同埋火一樣，都可以係做好做唔好嘅嘢。
And it's going to have a transforming effect on our society, definitely.
佢會肯定對我哋嘅社會帶嚟好大嘅影響。
But I'm very optimistic because I believe that it's going to make our lives easier.
我係好正面嘅，因為我覺得 AI 會令到我哋嘅人生生活變得更加舒服。
If you look at history, all technology has made our lives easier.
科技你睇下歷史，都總係會令我哋嘅生活變得更加容易嘅。
So here is the summary of my talk.
呢個係我個講座嘅總結。
I hope you believe now that AI will never experience qualia, the biting of the lemon.
我希望你明白人工智能永遠唔能夠體會到嗰種嘅體感，例如食檸檬。
It'll never be sentient. It will never understand what it is doing.
佢唔會有感受，佢唔會明白。
It'll never experience emotion.
佢冇嗰種嘅情感嘅嘅明白。
It will never be creative because being creative would require it to pass the Lovelace test.
佢唔會能夠有創意，因為佢唔能夠通過嗰個 Lovelace 嘅 test。
And here is the bottom line to the whole thing. From Psalm 139, we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
我哋個底線呢，就係我哋詩篇139篇，我哋覺得我哋係受造奇妙可為。
And here's my final slide that you have to watch because it took me a long time to put together.
呢張最後嘅投影片係用咗好多時間去整嘅。
What do you think?
Pretty good.
Pretty much. Okay, thank you for your attention.
多謝你嘅。
Hopefully now we can have some Q&A. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask me or challenge any of the things that I've done.
好，多謝大家。咁我哋咧就希望能夠有一啲問答嘅時間。好，咁我哋咧就第一條問題。咁咧呢條問題用英文問嘅，咁我就用英文講一次先，然後我再用中文講。Your conclusion is based on the assumption that all computers work with an algorithm. Is there any possibility that a computer does not need to run with an algorithm。嗱，呢度佢個問題就係講到話你嘅結論咧係基於嗰個假設咧，所有電腦都係用程式咧去到運作啫。其實有冇一個可能咧，係一部電腦唔需要用程式，唔基於算式去到唔需要基於算式咧去到即係運作嘅咧
No.
唔可能嘅。
All computer programs, if you've ever coded, you write line after line after line of code. That's the only way that computers work. That's the only way that artificial intelligence works, is you have line after line after line. They're algorithms, and there's no way to escape the use of algorithms in computers.
我哋無論係電腦或者係人工智能咧，其實都係需要用一行又一行嘅程式去到咁樣運作部電腦嘅，所以我哋係唔可能唔去用算式去到運作個電腦嘅。好，跟住咧就第二個問題咧係用中文問嘅，咁我用中文先講一次。佢話 AI 咧唔能夠取代人，但係佢正取代人同人之間嘅關係。我哋開始接受佢成為朋友、導師，佔領我哋嘅生活，就好似 smartphone。今日嘅教會可以點樣處理喎嚇？好，我let me try to ask in English. AI cannot replace human, but it is replacing the relationship between human and human. And we started to accept it as our friend, as our mentor, as our coach, and it's starting to take over our life, just like a smartphone. What can a church do?
What can a church do with AI? I think, again, AI is like a tool, and I think you could use AI for great things.
我認為 AI 只係一啲工具，教會可以用佢㗎。
As far as what the church does, I think that one of the problems that we've had with social media is not healthy.
其中一個 the problem with social media is not healthy.
Yeah, social media.
其中一個問題就係因為社交媒體咧唔係咁健康。
And there's always the possibility that you form a relationship with your AI, with your ChatGPT.
所以我哋從來都真係有個機會咧，我哋即係同嗰啲嘅人工智能咧去建立咗一個關係。
That has to be very unhealthy.
而係會變成好唔健康嘅。
I don't know if anybody have seen the movie Her.
有冇好多人見過睇過出電影叫做Her 嘅中文係咩咧 ？Her 其實係HER 咯，我懷疑唔知冇應該係中文嘅，但我唔知個中文電影嘅名嚇 Her。I have watched it.
Yeah, it's a very sad movie when you fall in love with somebody that is not an entity.
Not an entity.
Not a person. Yeah, not a person.
你嗰出戲咧，其實係講到會好悲哀嘅，因為當你愛上咗唔係一個人類。
Yeah, so I don't see how that can ever replace like human interaction.
所以我認為人工智能係唔能夠取代人同人之間嘅互動嘅。好，咁第三條問題呢個咧就係話而家已經有 AI 輔導啦嚇 ，AI 係咪真係唔能夠明白人嘅內心 ？We now already have artificial intelligence counseling. So is that true that AI will never be able to understand a person's heart?
I think that it can be tricked into to simulate understanding of a person's heart. There was a great movie, Steven Spielberg and, what was his name? Put it out, it was called AI. It was about a little boy who was artificial intelligence. And the thing I remember, the takeaway was the little boy came in to, I'm talking too long, aren't I? Yeah, okay, in little chops, okay. The movie AI was about a little boy who was a robot.
I watched it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, around 30 years ago.
Okay.
Dr. Marx 佢講就話佢認為人係有機會去到被騙，去到以為人工智能能夠明白你嚇，跟住佢就提到喺之前史提芬史匹堡有一出電影係叫做 AI 嘅， 係大概應該20幾年前㗎啦，就係講到有一個小朋友佢去到遇到一個人工智能。
And the little boy came in and sat before the mother, totally emotionless, just like a robot.
佢嗰個小朋友 sit beside his mother.
Yeah, sit beside his future mother.
Future mother.
Yes.
哦，嗰個小朋友咧就係坐喺佢嗰個未來嘅媽媽面前咧，佢係完全冇感受嘅。
But he was still a robot, clearly not a live person.
He.
Yes.
That boy.
The little boy.
嚇，嗰個其實小朋友咧，佢唔係人嚟嘅，佢係一個人工智能嚟嘅。
And the person who was in charge of selling the robot said, if you push this button, he will fall in love with you.
嗰個賣呢個 selling the boy。Selling that the boy.
Yes, if you push the button on the boy, on the robot, he will fall in love with you.
如果你撳個嗰個小朋友身上嘅一個掣咧，佢嗰個小朋友就會中意你啦。
And she pushed the button, and if you've seen the movie, it's incredible, the simulation of love that little boy showed.
如果你有睇嗰出戲咧，你會發現嗰個營造出嚟嘅嗰份嘅愛咧係好真嘅。
But did that boy experience love, or was that just a simulation of what love looked like?
但係其實嗰個係咪真係愛咧，定係其實係一個即係模擬咧
I maintain the latter.
What?
I maintain that it was that he did not experience the love. It was just an algorithm.
其實講到底，呢個唔係愛，係一個程式。
But it was very convincing.
不過係非常之係好有說服力係。
So, in summary, yes, AI can simulate different emotions. It can never duplicate them.
所以講到底咧，人工智能係能夠模擬嗰啲感受，但係其實佢係 cannot duplicate。
Cannot duplicate. It can simulate. It can pretend.
佢可以假裝係可以去到即係係真係嗰樣嘢，但係其實唔係嗰樣嘢嚟嘅。佢唔能夠令嗰樣嘢重現翻嘅，所以唔係複製咯嚇。好，跟住咧就下一個問題，佢話 AI 嘅應用同埋後果係咪會大規模嘅帶來失業？國與國之間嘅對立應用 AI 係咪會令我哋嘅人類生命安全更易被摧毀 ？OK， this question talks about the application and consequence of using AI. Will there be a large-scale unemployment? And then secondly, the confrontation between countries and countries about the use of AI, will that make the life of human being become more easily destructible?
Okay, what was the first question again?
The first question is, will there be a large-scale unemployment?
I don't believe so. There's a great book by John Tamney called The End of Work.
我唔相信有一本書叫做The End of Work.
The End of Work.
係工作的完結。
Technology has always made our lives easier.
科技從來都係令到我哋嘅生活變得更加容易。
When I was a boy in West Virginia, they had us go hoe weeds out in the cornfield.
Cornfield.
Where they grew corn.
OK， 佢哋喺個美國嘅地方，佢哋會賣嗰啲種嗰啲嘅粟米。
We don't need that anymore because we have technology to do it.
我哋唔再需要嗰啲人去做呢樣嘢，因為我哋有科技去做呢樣嘢。
We don't have to spend our lives on the farm because of technology.
我哋有咗科技之後，我哋唔需要花時間喺嗰啲嘅農場嗰度。
We can come to great interesting talks like this one.
我哋可以嚟即係參加呢啲咁有趣嘅講座。
And that's going to make our lives easier. And I think that that's what's going to happen with AI also as a new technology.
作為一個新嘅科技工具，我覺得佢都會令到我哋嘅生活變得更加係舒適。
Will it be disruptive? Yes.
Is asking destruct the lives be more destructible, demolish.
Life be worth less?
Because it talks about the opposition between countries about the use of AI. Will it
yeah, well, I think that's very interesting. I think that in terms of military, I wrote a book called The Case for Killer Robots.
關於呢個軍事上咧，我睇過一本書叫做 The book named
The Case for Killer Robots.
Killer Robots. 呢個用 機器去殺人嘅一個例子或者原因。
And the arms race has been something which has been happening since World War II.
自從第二次世界大戰以嚟，其實去到發展軍事競賽係一件不停嘅事。
One country tries to get something superior to another one. The other one tries to get something superior to theirs.
每個國家都嘗試喺軍事競賽上面比其他國家優勝。
And this is going to continue in technology.
喺科技上呢樣都會繼續咁樣去到發生。
And I think it has to do with the fallen nature of man.
而呢一樣係源自人類嘅嗰一種墮落咗嘅真相。
I'll give you an example of something that recently happened.
我俾一個例子嚟俾大家。
Everybody is kind of concerned about these big drone swarms. Little drones.
Drone 無人機。OK。大家都對於嗰啲無人機咧覺得好擔心啦。
Because if you have 1,000 or 1,000,000 drones coming towards you, how are you going to take care of them?
因為如果你有1 million drones，
yeah, 1 million drones.
如果我哋有成100萬嗰啲無人機咁衝過嚟，你點樣搞掂佢咧？點樣搞咧
？They're just like an anthill. If you stomp on the anthill, you kill most of the ants, but if a few live, they'll survive.
你即係好似一堆蟻咁，即係嬲落嚟度，咁你點搞咧？你冇得搞嘅喎嚇。
And they will complete their mission.
佢哋會完成佢哋嘅任務嘅。
This gave me chills for a long time until I realized, until I talked to a colleague who mentioned EMPs, electromagnetic pulses.
我一諗起頭先嗰個嘅情況咧，就令到我好心寒啦。直至到我有一個同事同我提起一個
electromagnetic pulses, yeah.
提到嗰個電池嘅嗰啲嘅電磁波，係啦嚇。
And usually they're associated with thermonuclear explosions. Atomic bombs.
通常咧，我哋提到呢個技術嘅時候咧，都係同到嗰啲嘅原子彈有關嘅。
But now countries have EMP cannons, which can shoot out EMP waves.
而家我哋有一啲嘅導彈咧，係能夠發射出呢一啲嘅咁樣嘅即係物質嘅嘢嘅。
What the effect is that it melts all the electronics.
佢能夠令周圍嘅嗰啲電子嘅嘢咧，都去溶咗佢嘅。
So if you're attacked by a lot of drones, you can just take them out, almost like bug spray.
所以 if the drones came,
yeah, you know bug spray.
所以嗰啲嘅即係無人機咁樣衝過嚟嘅時候咧，你係可以對住佢哋要 spray at them.
Yeah.
即係你可以
boom,
去
yeah.
即係用一個嗰啲類似嗰啲殺蟲水之類嘅嘢咧，去到射佢哋嘅。
And then the people with the drones will figure out how to protect the drones better.
跟住嗰啲無人機都會諗個方法點樣去到保護嗰啲無人機嘅。
So yeah, this is going to continue in terms of military adversary.
所以呢個亦都係喺嗰個軍事競賽裏邊咧不斷發生緊嘅一種嘅對抗。好，跟住咧下一個嘅問題咧就等我睇下先啦，就係佢喺度講到話咧 AI 運算可以應用在人類身上。有什麼例子啊？即係請 elaborate 更多有關上載個人同AI 嘅關係。我諗我特別想問第二條啦嚇。This question asks about could you elaborate more about the relationship between uploading a person
Yes.
and AI? Could you elaborate on
that?
Yeah,
there has been this idea among people who believe we are computers made out of meat.
我哋有啲人認為我哋其實係一啲用肉做嘅電腦。
Is our mind the same as our brain?
我哋嗰個嘅意志嗰個思想嗰個嘅個 mind 即係嗰個嘅我哋嘅思想就係同我哋嘅腦係一樣嘅。
I will make the case tomorrow that the mind is greater than the brain.
我聽晚就會去到證明一樣嘢，就係我哋個即係思想，我哋個思維係大過我哋個腦嘅。
And that the mind is indeed, you can make a very strong case the mind is immortal.
It's immortal.
Will live forever.
我哋可以去論證一樣嘢咧，就係我哋嗰個思想咧係會即係 mortal。 is mortal。
The mind is immortal.
The mind is immortal。我哋個思想咧係永遠不死嘅。
In fact, Descartes looked at the so-called mind-brain problem, and he referred to the mind as the soul.
笛卡爾咧曾經提及過呢一個思想同腦筋兩者之間嘅關係，而佢當時都認為個 mind 即係個腦即係嗰個思想咧係 immortal 嘅，係永遠嘅。
Yes, and we think that again the soul is immortal. We as Christians believe the soul is immortal. So, is there any scientific evidence for this? Any philosophical evidence?
我哋作為基督徒，我哋都相信我哋嗰個嘅靈魂係永活嘅，所以我哋要去到問我哋有啲乜嘢嘅科學同埋哲學嘅證據。
And we'll address this tomorrow.
我哋聽晚會講呢樣嘢。
So, in order to upload yourself, in order to duplicate yourself, your mind has to be the same as your brain.
如果我哋要去上載自己咧，你嘅思想、你嘅必須同你個腦係恒等係一樣嘅。
If you're a materialist and believe that that we are computers made out of meat, then you should be able to do this.
如果你以為你作為一個物料嘅即係主義者，亦即係話你嘅思想就係源自完全源自你嘅嗰個腦袋咧，咁你就可以將自己上載啦。
But we are more than computers made out of meat.
但係我哋係唔單止係一個用肉做嘅電腦。
We have our non-algorithmic selves, including our minds and our souls.
我哋嗰個嘅思想，我哋嘅靈魂咧係有一個唔能夠被化作運算嘅部分嘅。
And it's for this reason you'll never be able to upload yourself and duplicate that non-algorithmic part of yourself, duplicate your soul and your mind.
所以我哋永遠都唔能夠去複製我哋嘅靈魂、我哋嘅思想，因為呢一啲嘅部分都唔係可以化作一個係算式嘅。好。
How'd I do?
What?
How'd I do?
How are you doing?
Yeah.
How am I doing?
No, how am I doing?
How am I doing?
No.
OK，我想問我哋仲有幾多時間 ？Up to
Not more than 30 minutes.
Oh, still
Okay.
30 minutes. Okay, because I'm tired. Yeah. He is tired and I'm tired. Okay. The next question. Okay. Okay. This one relates to the church. Okay. Let me ask first in Chinese. 呢個講到咧，有唔少牧者。陳牧師可以睇下有冇啊嚇，利用 AI 預備講道，咁咧呢個可能會比自己預備講章咧更加 comprehensive 全面，更加清楚去到教導信眾。咁樣，那麼牧師在講道上的教導是否可被取代？若不被取代，牧師應如何利用 AI 去到教導信徒？ Okay, let me ask again in English. We have quite a few pastors using AI to prepare a sermon. It could be more comprehensive than a person preparing a sermon by himself. It makes the sermon more understandable, more teachable. To the audiences. Then the role of a pastor in a sermon, in the teaching using sermon, could it be replaced? If it cannot be replaced, the pastor, how should they utilize the AI to teach the believers?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. First of all, I don't think that AI could ever replace a pastor.
首先，我唔認為人工智能可以取代牧者嘅。
Okay, I think it can be used to assist a pastor.
我認為佢可以去到協助牧者。
I know myself, I'm an engineer, and my English is not that good.
我係一個工程師， 我嘅英文唔係咁好。
So I will write something, I will read it, and I think, oh, that's kind of clunky, kind of unclear.
所以當我寫咗啲英文出嚟之後，我有時會覺得即係唔係好順啊，唔係好清楚咁樣。
So I will go to ChatGPT and I'll go rewrite : give it. It'll give me something pretty good that I still have to polish.
所以我就會將我所寫出嚟嗰段文字攞去 ChatGPT 度，跟住叫佢幫我執靚佢。
So I think that yes, AI can be used to help pastors write sermons in that way too.
所以牧者都應該可以用 ChatGPT 呢啲去幫佢寫好嗰篇講章。
I very rarely use exactly what they gave me. I still have to polish it.
我好少會將佢所俾我嘅嘢咧係全部照單全收嘅，我都仲要執佢嘅。
Yes, and here's what I think is going to be the future of AI and creativity.
我講下將來我認為人工智能同創造力之間嘅關係。
The United States Copyright Office used to refuse to copyright anything that was generated by AI.
嗰個美國嘅copyright 中文係咩？版權嘅嗰個嘅政府嘅部門咧，一向都唔會接受任何人工智能製出嚟嘅嘢嘅。
That's the reason if I generate an image using AI, I'm free to use it without ever being sued.
所以如果係用人工智能做嘅幅圖咧，其實我係冇任何版權嘅問題嘅，我可以用嘅。
At least according to United States law.
起碼咧，根據美國嘅法律係咁樣。
So there was an interesting case where this artist submitted some art to a contest, and he won.
所以有一個嘅好有趣嘅情形咧，就係有個藝術家佢將一份來自 AI 嘅畫作咧，就去到即係呈交，然後佢贏咗個比賽。
He confessed to the contest people that he had used AI in generating this art.
佢承認咧，佢係用咗人工智能嘅。
And so they took away the prize from him.
所以嗰個大會咧就攞走咗嗰個獎。
But he came back, he said, "You don't understand what I did."
跟住，但係佢就回應佢話：其實你哋唔明白我做咗啲乜。
I went to the AI prompt and I entered in a prompt and I got a result that I didn't like.
You got a result.
A result, yes, an image.
我去咗嗰個人工智能嘅嗰個 prompt 即係嗰個。叫做可以俾我輸入嘅嗰個欄嗰度咧，我輸入咗之後，跟住佢出個結果出嚟咧，我係唔接受，我係唔中意嘅。
So I told it to move this part to this part, make this part more colorful, etc.
然後我就對嗰個作品咧係作出咗好多修訂嘅。
He did hundreds of iterations on this.
佢做咗好幾百個嘅即係修訂
before the final result.
以至能夠出到嗰個最終嘅結果。
He used AI as a tool in the creative process.
佢用咗嗰個人工智能成為佢嗰個創作嘅工具。
Should this be able to be copyrighted?
呢樣嘢係咪應該係有版權嘅咧？
And the answer is yes. In fact, about a month ago, the U.S. Copyright Office says that you can use AI to generate art.
所以a few months ago. 所以幾個月之前，其實美國嘅嗰個版權有關當局咧已經決定咗咧，你係可以用人工智能去到製造一啲有版權嘅嘢嘅。
But it's not the AI which is copyrightable. It is the creative input of the person using the AI.
所以唔係嗰個 AI 係有版權，而係嗰個用 AI 嘅嗰個創作過程。
So we're seeing like creative writing classes now where they're teaching how to use ChatGPT in creative writing.
所以我哋而家已經有一啲嘅即係課程咧，係教人點樣用 ChatGPT 去寫作。
And so, yeah, ChatGPT and these large language models are going to be used quite a bit in a creative framework.
所以我哋預期呢啲 ChatGPT 係會被大規模咁應用喺呢啲創作嘅即係工作上面嘅。
And the smoke is out of the bottle. Does that translate?
The smoke is out of the bottle.
Yes.
So it means it
means you can't put the smoke back in the bottle.
OK，即係等我諗下中文點樣翻譯先，就係咧我哋已經好明顯見到咧嗰種嘅影響力已經咧係唔能夠收翻去㗎啦。
AI is here and it's going to be used, and we just have to figure out how to use it as a tool in a good way.
我哋已經唔能夠去否定 AI 嘅存在，佢已經存在喺你眼前。我哋係要去諗點樣去到適當咁用佢。
Right.
Okay. Okay. The next question. Let me see. Okay. Here, I'm not sure whether it is a question, but let me go through the statement. It says here, do you want to know how AI DeepSeek answer the questions? First one, can AI replace me, human being? And then second one, can I, human being, replace AI? What are your thoughts? 呢個問題大概係咁嘅。佢話你想唔想知道 DeepSeek 點樣答以下兩條問題？第一，人工智能可唔可以取代我？第二，我可唔可以取代人工智能
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I think that Isaac Newton famously wrote that anything he did was on the back of giants. He was referring to Kepler, he was referring to Galileo, and all of the great scientists that came before him.
牛頓曾經講過一句説話，佢話佢所做嘅好多嘢其實都係建基以前嘅好多即係偉大嘅人嘅一啲嘅工作。
But Newton created calculus and he created Newtonian physics.
但係牛頓創造咗、設計咗geometry 微積分 calculus 微積分啦，同埋咧係牛頓嘅物理學。
So he stood on the back of giants and did creativity above the backs of giants.
所以佢雖然係建基以前嘅好多即係好偉大嘅人嘅即係工作，但係佢嘅創意係更進一步。
Newton had about 2,000 books in his library.
He has 2,000 books.
2,000 books in his library.
佢個圖書館有2000本書。
Today we have access to millions of books.
我哋有數以百萬嘅書。
And all of that knowledge used to be in libraries in printed form.
以前呢啲嘅書係 used to be
in printed form.
以前我哋即係要有咁大嘅數量嘅書咧，係要有實體嘅書嘅。
And then it became electronic.
然後我哋而家有電子書。
Wikipedia.
有維基咩？維基百科係。
Okay. However, it was still difficult to absorb all of this, to climb that mountain, to climb on the shoulder of the giant that Newton talked about.
It's still difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult if you go to even Wikipedia. It's easier, but it's my point is that these large language models allow us to get on the shoulders of giants much more quickly.
Okay. 呢啲大嘅語言模型咧，係令到我哋更加快去到吸收呢個咁龐大嘅書本知識嘅嗰種嘅數量，以至到我哋能夠去到就係好似以前牛頓咁樣咧，去到即係更進一步咁樣。
However, the creativity that comes after getting on the shoulders of giants will come from human beings.
而呢一啲即係去到更進一步嘅創意咧，其實都係源自人類嘅。
So I think it's going to be a great tool for getting us on the back of giants really quickly, really easily, and enhance our ability to create.
所以我認為我哋會更加容易去到能夠藉著呢啲工具去比前人去到更進一步。
So did I answer the question? I forgot what it was. You did too.
Forget it. Okay.
Oh, can you replace AI?
Oh yeah.
First of all, machines have done a lot better than I have in a number of areas.
AI is better.
No, machines.
Machine.
Yeah, they can take the cube root of a number like that.
機器啦係的確喺好多地方上面都比我哋更加優勝，例如佢可以做到嗰個立方根，去到好快能夠做到。
So can we replace AI? Let's see. Can I, as a human being, replace AI?
我可唔可以取代人工智能？
Well, yeah, well, everything there is it's like Noam Chomsky said, it's digital plagiarism. So everything that you see in ChatGPT has already been absorbed from all of the corpus of written language in the world.
你喺 ChatGPT 度所見到嘅所有內容，其實都係源自所有嗰啲實體印製嘅嗰啲嘅書本嘅內容，都已經全部吸納晒落去㗎啦。
And one of the big problems is that a lot of the fuel for large language models has been exhausted. In other words, all of the written material in the world has already been used to train ChatGPT.
我哋手頭上邊而家有個問題就係我哋手頭上邊即係有嘅resource 有嘅資源咧，都已經 they've already been used to train ChatGPT， 已經被用咗咧嚟去到訓練個 ChatGPT 嘅。
Yes. So I don't believe I'm ever going to have the ability to memorize all of Wikipedia, which I think that large language AI can do.
我即係對唔好意思咧，即係話其實我唔認為人
Yes.
能夠有個能力去到記晒所有維基檔案入邊所有嘅嘢，但係but LLM can do.
Say again?
LLM can memorize them.
Yeah, they can memorize
係
that.
嗰個
That's
嘅
what
大
they're
語言
doing.
模型佢哋就做到咯。
Yeah.
好，咁咧就跟住呢度咧有下一個問題，咁其實都同今日大會個題目有啲重複嘅，不過我都不厭其煩再問一次啦嚇。佢話 In your view, what is AI's biggest challenge to Christian faith or no challenge at all？ 嚇，喺你嘅意見裏邊，你認為人工智能對基督教信仰嘅最大嘅挑戰係啲咩咧？定係其實一啲挑戰都冇咧？
What is the big challenge of AI to the Christian faith? I think that there's been an ongoing battle between secularism and Christianity for a long time. And I believe that the AI church and these people that believe in the future, that is going to be more of a push-pull against Christianity. As people, oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking too long.
我認為即係好長時間以嚟，其實世俗主義同基督教都有一種角力嘅關係。咁而其中一個例子就係嗰一個人工智能推崇人工智能嘅教會。
So I see it as a new front in the battle between Christianity and secularism.
我認為呢一個係世俗主義同埋基督教嘅嗰個爭逐嘅一個嘅戰線。
Yeah, it's an old story, but it's one with a new chapter.
呢個係一個古老嘅故事，但係就係一個新嘅一頁。OK. Okay. The next question is, it says here, AI is value free. People concerns the privacy very much. How do you think that people to seek the confession and deep praying via AI? Does it
Deep what?
deep praying? Deep praying.
Deep praying.
Pray. He prays to AI. Would you fit?
Who prays to AI?
The person.
Oh, okay.
Can a person? Okay, let me adapt his question. For
Okay.
example, do you think because let me ask you once again. Because AI is value free, and people when you confess, let's say to a priest, of course not in the Protestant tradition, but the Catholic tradition.
Sure.
You pray to a priest and then you confess. But people nowadays concerns privacy that much. So would it be better that I pray not to a priest, but pray to a AI? Does this question make sense?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it
let me I'll say one second in Chinese. 即係咧AI 咧就係冇價值判斷嘅。呢個有假設啦，不過係咁咧，人咧就對於自己嘅私隱咧就好即係重視啦。咁你認為如果人就唔去，即係我嘅理解啦，呢個就係話咧，就係唔去揾嗰啲嘅神父或者揾阿陳牧師嗰啲去即係告解啦祈禱啦，就向 AI 祈禱得唔得咧咁樣係嘛？Yeah.
Okay. First of all, AI is not value free. All AI has bias.
首先人工智能咧就唔係價值中立嘅，所有嘅人工智能都係有佢嘅偏見。
AI without bias is like water without wet.
如果話人工智能係冇偏見，就好似 water was without wet，
Without being, yeah, yes.
就好似水係唔濕嘅。
If, for example, you trained AI on all of the literature that said the Earth is flat.
如果我去訓練一個人工智能 ，I train that teaches it that the world is flat。
Yeah, the world is
話俾
flat.
嗰個人工智能知呢個世界係平嘅。
And you asked if AI is the world flat, it would say yes.
然後個人工智能就會答你係啊，個世界係平㗎。
Because that is exactly how it was trained.
因為我係咁樣去到訓練佢咯。
And I talked about Band-Aids being placed on AI.
我提到嗰啲人將膠布貼落去啲人工智能度。
Early AI, especially ChatGPT in American politics, was very liberal.
嗰啲當初訓練人工智能嘅美國人咧係非常之自由主義嘅。
But now it's much more neutral in terms of politics.
喺政治上邊，當初訓練嗰啲人係好傾向自由主義嘅，但係而家咧就變得比較中立。
Because there's been Band-Aids placed on the software.
因為我哋已經將好多膠布貼咗上去。
Oh, there were terrible things that ChatGPT gave advice, for example, on let's see, it was a young man whose parents were away, and he wanted to cover up the smell of marijuana.
A boy,
His parents were gone.
Okay.
And he wanted ChatGPT to tell him how to cover up the smell of marijuana.
OK。喺美國有個人有個青年人，佢嘅父母唔喺度，咁然後佢就叫 GPT 教佢點樣去到將嗰啲大麻嘅味咧去到隱藏佢。
And AI told him how.
And then 就人工智能就教佢。
There was another question. A girl said, "I want to do an exciting experiment."
有個女仔話：我想做一個好刺激嘅實驗。
ChatGPT said, "Plug something in the wall halfway and put a coin between the two terminals."
Plug something.
Plug an outlet into the wall, and then place a coin on the two conductors.
人工智能就叫佢將兩條嗰個電掣嘅嗰個插掣咧，就插落個插蘇件，然後就放一個銀仔喺中間。
And yes, that would be very exciting.
咁咧就會好刺激啦。
But you know what? The new ChatGPT doesn't do that. They put a Band-Aid on it.
但係新嘅 ChatGPT 咧已經唔會做呢啲咁嘅嘢啦，因為佢哋已經更正咗佢。
So yeah, all AI is biased, and they're trying to get rid of bias, but I don't know if that's totally possible.
所以其實人工智能都係有偏見嘅，但係我係唔肯定係咪可以令到人工智能雖然係會變得更加中立，但係係咪可以完全冇偏見呢？我係懷疑嘅。
Now, to its credit, many times ChatGPT will say one side of an issue and then give the other side of the issue.
而家咧即係值得去到讚下 ChatGPT 嘅咧，就係你而家問佢好多問題咧，佢會講咗問題嘅一個睇法，然後佢要睇下，佢又會講另一個睇法嘅。
And I think that's a healthy way to do it, is to give both sides of the issue.
而我認為咁係一個健康嘅做法嚟嘅。OK， 我差唔多我諗我問晒啦。
一口氣答咗好多問題，我哋俾掌聲。多謝 Professor Mark 同埋葉博士，都係好唔容易嘅一個嘅歷程嚟嘅。嗱，咁我諗緊時間咧都差唔多啊。我哋都知道咧，即係其實 Professor Mark 咧真係都會比較疲累，所以咧我就希望咧今天晚上咧我哋作為一個思考嘅起點啦。咁啊，如果可能仲有啲嘅問題咧，可能我哋聽晚我哋仲有啲時間咧嚟到去再 go through， 或者可能刺激大家一齊再去諗嘅時候咧，可以歡迎大家明天晚上咧都係7點半嚟到旺角浸信會嘅6樓禮堂咧，我哋一齊嚟到去諗下啊，即係究竟人工智能可唔可以複製你嘅靈魂同埋你嘅大腦咧？咁啊，我哋繼續就住呢個問題繼續嘅嚟到去思考嘛。我哋有個祈禱，我哋結束今天晚上嘅聚會啦。我哋同心祈禱。多謝天父俾我哋今天晚上我哋一齊嘅嚟到去思考，一齊嘅嚟到去聆聽，一齊嘅嚟到同心嚟到去明白呢個世代喺同世俗化裏邊我哋呢一個嘅爭戰，可能進到新嘅一頁又或者我哋都面對有唔同嘅挑戰或者思考。求主你繼續嘅嚟到幫助我哋。我哋知道我哋心靈嘅空洞唯有上帝你藉着耶穌基督先能夠填滿。喺我哋嘅人生命當中即使呢個世界點樣嘅嚟到去改變，但係我哋知道唯一不變嘅就係上帝嘅真理同埋你對我哋永恆嘅愛。我哋體會到即係 AI 係有啲地方係冇辦法取代到我哋生命嘅價值。我哋就求你讓我哋喺呢一個嘅世代當中，我哋更加明白你嘅心意。面對唔同嘅衝擊，我哋依然站立得穩，又讓我哋懂得點樣去分辨善用呢啲唔同嘅工具，讓我哋嘅生活按着你嘅心意，亦都繼續嘅嚟到去成為一個榮神益人嘅人。祝福我哋今天晚上有美好嘅分享同埋思考，求你繼續嘅嚟到與我哋同在，帶領我哋走未來嘅路。我哋多謝你，願一切榮耀頌讚歸俾你。獻上禱告，奉基督耶穌得勝嘅聖名，阿們。我哋多謝主，再一次多謝 Professor Mark 同埋葉博士 ，Thank you so much。好，願主賜福你眾人。